Well, the Panel of Peril have spoken, and some of what they said is spoilers for young guns.
These boys are promising young men, acquiring an education.
Well, I've had you pegged as the type that likes listening to the Diabolical podcast.
5 minutes enough, come away.
Get ready for hell.
This is Diabolical, the comedy podcast where four long-suffering friends dissect film's most dastardly schemes, then try to improve them. I'm your host Ben, and this week we're strapping on our six-shooters and saddling up for a wild ride with 80s western romp, Young Guns. So grab your 10-gallon hat, buff that rusty sheriff's badge, and let's get diabolical. Howdy, partners, and welcome to the show. Joining me are three very illiterate outlaws, otherwise known as the Panel of Peril. Introduce yourselves and tell us your rootin, tootin, cowboy posse name. That's posse, Gaz. Cheeky little scamp.
Well,
Super Dude, please kick us off.
Hey, Peril Pals, Craig here, also known as Super Dude, and my rootin' tootin' posse would be called the Crisp Lads. The Crisp Lads.
after Quentin Crisp.
Known for their sharp wits as sharp as their suits, and also they love crisps.
Oh.
Chips for you in the US of States.
I'd be in that gang.
Yeah.
Bag of pickled onion monster munch on one side, bag of Walker's chicken time sensations in the other.
You just saved yourself there. I was going to kick you out of the Crisp Lads because Monster Munch are not really crisps, are they?
What?
How dare you?
How are they not crisp?
There's some kind of,
Maize?
fist.
Soy maize?
Crisps are thin.
They're maize snacks. That's corn to you Western fellows. All right. Gaz, what would be your posse name?
Hi, Gaz here, and it's funny that you should clarify that it's posse and not a similar word, because the name for my posse is the Beaver Boys. After the sketch from Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job, with the two white boy rappers, which is stuck in my head for about 20 years now, where they're just singing, but Beaver Boys, but Beaver Boys, but Beaver Boys, over and over again. So that's what my posse would do.
Excellent. Adam.
Namaste, y'all. This is Adam here out of Conway County of the US of Wales. And my posse name would be the fear-inducing Adams Boys. Just because I wanted to be the head of a gang with me as the first name. So, and then nobody can be unsure about who's the boss is, and it's me.
Well, they could replace you with another Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Baldwin, for example. A much better Adam with better views of the world.
No, he's older and weaker than me.
Or there could be more than one Adam. They could take the Adams as meaning more than one Adam. And then
No, it's there's an apostrophe. There's an apostrophe.
Uh-oh, trouble, Sheriff. Adams Boys are duking it out with the Adams Boys down in the old saloon.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking of posses was the Smooth Boys, but I thought Super Dude might have taken that, so I opted against it, and I went for the Tight Boys, because we'd all get on so famously. And no other reason. Well, later we'll compete to see who can come up with the most dastardly scheme to earn precious peril points for the Season 6 leaderboard. But first, let's take a closer look at this week's movie. Young Guns hit the silver screen way back in August 1988. Helmed by Christopher Cain, who would go on to direct lots of things that no one has ever seen, including The Next Karate Kid, the film stars Emilio Estevez as the infamous Billy the Kid, alongside a star-studded ensemble cast including Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Terence Stamp, and the legendary Jack Palance. This modern take on the real-life Lincoln County War in New Mexico follows the Regulators, a group of young outlaws led by Billy as they seek vengeance for the murder of their mentor. Despite mixed reviews from critics upon release, Young Guns performed well enough at the box office to warrant a sequel, while its blend of historical fiction and Hollywood flair combined with a killer soundtrack made it a fan favourite. An Emilio Estevez penned script for a third instalment exists. However, the production is in development hell as rights owners Morgan Creek are yet to agree on next steps for the franchise. It's a film that's blazed its way into many a movie night, and one I selected in loving memory of our dear friend Gary, who is very much still with us.
He's still with us.
Yeah, but not literally. He's not with us in the room right now.
No, and he'll be glad.
So let's find out what the panel thought. Gaz, was this film a quick draw, or did it miss the mark?
It missed the mark for me, unfortunately. I thought tonally it was quite confused. It was quite knockabout at times and then ultra serious and violent at others.
Yeah.
Kind of like a halfway house between a family friendly film and a revisionist brutal western. The music, the anachronistic music with the 80s pop stylings, I just found a bizarre choice. I don't think that worked. The cinematography, it's that they've got these impressive western vistas and they shoot it all in pretty much just close-ups. They don't show off
weird.
the locations at all, which I found absolutely bizarre. There's not a lot to the story.
It's funny you say that about the vistas, because we've recently seen Unforgiven, and that is all sprawling vistas, and then this was really the opposite, despite the terrain being very similar.
Yeah, even like when they've got essentially a cavalry charge across a plain, and it's framed so tightly that you can basically just see the ground. It's just bizarrely badly directed. So yeah, not for me. And Emilio Estevez, oh my lord, Emilio Estevez, I think is shocking in this film. For someone who has to laugh constantly, he cannot fake a laugh at all or be psychotic. Yeah, so not my favourite film. I'm probably not going to watch the sequel or a meted third film. Not good. Not good, Gary. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Damning words there. Adam, can you bring back some a modicum of respect for poor Gary?
No, absolutely not. I'm in full agreement with everything Gaz just said. It's a bloody awful film. It's shallow to the point of almost being a drought in film proportions. I was thinking Gaz is going to pull something out of the bag here, something to salvage, a morsel somewhere. But he didn't, so I'm really pleased because I can shit all over it now as well. How bad is Terence Stamp? He's just taking some medication. He's just about to fall asleep, and they go, and action, and he's like,
he's in the room.
I've written, Terence Stamp seems like he wants to kill himself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. If I was involved in this movie, I would have probably replaced the dud rounds with real rounds.
Oh, bloody hell. Doing Alec Baldwin.
I know, yeah.
Too soon?
Any other time in history, that probably would have been fine to say, but right now.
There is a few saving graces here and there. There is some gratuitous violence at some points, which is quite pleasing. But other than that, I certainly won't be revisiting this film. No.
Damning words there. Super dude. Can you find anything to enjoy?
Well, I'm gonna go on the positive. It was a real nice surprise for me this week to find the remastered version of the Blade Runner video game on the Nintendo eShop for £8. No, seriously though, it was great to revisit an old favourite because Ava's really getting into Animal Crossing, so I've been playing that this week.
Oh, Gary, what have you done?
Yeah, it's not a well-made film. It's certainly not the worst thing Christopher Cain has produced because he's Dean Cain's father.
Oh, is it?
Oh my God! Hang on a minute. I think that's gone lower than the replacing duds with light rounds. That's just too much.
But I like Emilio Estevez. His hat is dope. That was one of the first things I've written.
Dope.
Yeah.
The main point that Gaz made that I think is bang on about this is that it's tonally all over the place. But the parts of it that I did enjoy were the parts where they didn't try and romanticize Billy the Kid. He is like a horrible psycho who laughs about killing a guy taking a piss, and I wasn't expecting that. I could see why teenagers in the 80s would have found this cool. I think the opening, the black and white, the guys shooting at the screen is... I didn't enjoy it, but I could see teenagers in the 80s going, oh yeah, these guys, the Brat Pack here, I'm down for them being in a Western. But yeah, it's really not well made. There's an awful sense of disorientation in that opening chase scene where Charlie Sheen and Terence Stamp are looking at something, but it's not Emilio Estevez. I don't know what the fuck was going on in the coverage or the editing there.
I think they break the 180 rule about 17 times.
But yeah, there are parts of it that I did enjoy. Like, it was great to see Terry O'Quinn. I'm a big fan of Terry O'Quinn, who would go on to be in Lost, among other things. Charlie Sheen's reaction to being shot, I thought was hilarious.
That is amazing. Funny. I've got that as well, yeah. It's absolutely hilarious.
One thing Gaz mentioned as well that I picked up on is about the anachronistic music, and that doesn't just relate to the non-diegetic music. Billy the Kid whistles Women of Ireland in the bar, which is it features in Barry Lyndon as well, but it was written in like the 50s or 60s or something. It's not an old song.
Thanks for the nerdy observation.
I hope someone left a jab over that one.
No real reverence for being historically accurate. Obviously, if you're going into that expecting this, you're probably watching the wrong film anyway.
It was actually credited with being like one of the more, up until that point, one of the more historically accurate films about Billy the Kid.
I suppose you're approaching the age of revisionism, aren't you?
Yeah.
But the screenwriter was very open about the changes he made. He had to make it a Hollywood story.
Conversely, I think I am quite interested in the third film, partly because the book sounds quite interesting. I know everybody seems to hate Forrest Gump these days, but it's like a Forrest Gump for Billy the Kid, where he kind of meets a lot of famous people in his later years.
Well, I don't know how close to the book that would be, because Emilio Estevez has written it himself.
I think
apparently.
he mentioned that he had based it on the book. So.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I found really weird about this is I didn't see a lot of Jack Palance. How much screen time does he get in this? Barely in it.
He vanishes after the opening act until the final act, basically, doesn't he?
Pretty much.
Yeah, more or less.
Well, he had already retired, and they got him out of retirement for this.
Okay.
And then he went on to do City Slickers after, and did he get the Oscar for City Slickers, I think?
Yeah,
yes, he did. He did push-ups on stage when he accepted it.
With a hoop and a hop and a heat and a heat.
Like Jack LaLanne.
Yeah.
Like the old man off Seinfeld and his dad.
Mendelbaum. Yeah, I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed parts of it, and I liked Emilio Estevez actually as Billy the Kid.
He's better than Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Billy.
What I enjoyed the most is that it's clearly a group of friends having a good time on set.
Yeah.
You could see they were just playing cowboys and they were enjoying that.
Yeah.
They mentioned how they had like a 3 or 4 week kind of boot camp before learning to ride, shoot, throw knives and all.
That's cool.
They were just, all of them in their element,
Yeah.
just living out childhood fantasies. And I think some of that comes through and that's quite fun. But yeah, like you say, it's a bit of a mess tonally. So if you had to sum it up in one word, what would you like to say to Gary for picking this film, for forcing me to pick this film?
Shit.
Disappointed.
Disappointed.
I don't know. Nothing's coming to mind.
Before I ask you for your highlights and favourite lines, we're going to play a little quiz I'm calling Young John Gunpuddy. Yes. Jung Gunpuddy. I have several categories for you containing questions related to this week's movie. You'll each get a chance to pick a category and answer a question thereon. The categories are Old Stamp, Pen Problems, What a Bonanza, and All Play. Adam, could you please pick a category?
Old Stamp, please.
Okay. Terence Stamp played the part of John Tunstall,
That's right.
Oh,
a
yes,
sort
he
of
did.
elder mentor and father figure to the regulators. But how old was the real John Tunstall?
24.
Correct. answer. You've done your research, sir. In a lot of productions based on the Lincoln County War, Tunstall's often portrayed as an elder gent. In reality, he was 24 when he was murdered, and actually younger than most of the regulators, except for Billy the Kid.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Gaz, could you please pick a category?
You're going to have to refresh my memory already, Turner. Pick the one that I remembered.
Pen problems. What a bonanza. All play.
Pen problems, please.
Right. Actor Sean Penn was the first choice to play the role of Billy the Kid. But why didn't he do it?
Because he's a miserable fucker and he'll only do ultra serious films that might possibly win him an Oscar.
Interesting take.
Correct, yes. Yeah.
It's not
Well
correct,
done,
I'm
I know.
afraid. Allow me to quote screenwriter John Fusco. My first choice for Billy was Sean Penn, but Sean was in jail at the time.
Oops.
The director brought the script to Sean in jail, and Sean wanted to do it, but his legal problems wouldn't allow it. He was punching people left and right.
This is quite a dark episode, isn't it, really?
Okay, Super Dude. The categories are What a Bonanza and All Play.
I'm glad I genuinely wanted What a Bonanza. I assume it's something to do with the TV show Bonanza.
Well, then you're a fucking idiot, because it's not.
No.
So, Young Guns was shot at the legendary Bonanza Creek Ranch film set. But can you name any other movies or TV shows that were shot there? And I will give you a hint. I don't think Bonanza was shot there. Strangely.
No.
It's just an ironic name.
I'm going to say Rawhide.
That's a good guess. Let me see on the list. What year was Rawhide? 60s?
60s.
No, Rawhide wasn't.
Lone Ranger?
Lone Ranger. Yeah, the legend of the Lone Ranger was.
Yes. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Zorro? Some sort of Zorro film there?
Zorro. What year was Zorro?
Don't know.
Oh, shit.
It was the 99 one with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
No,
I
it was
mentioned
not.
this last week or the week before.
No, it was not.
What do you call it? The obvious one. Made in Manhattan. Made in Manhattan.
Starring J-Lo.
Yeah, that's the one.
That was not, unfortunately.
None of
It was part of the initial location hunt, but
Right.
it was struck off because it was too hot and it would dehydrate J-Lo's skin, which makes her look like a prune.
Last Tango in Paris.
Some of the amazing films that have been filmed there over the years, and this is just a small selection: Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
Ooh.
Easy Rider, Silverado, John Carpenter's Vampires,
Oh, yeah.
Django Unchained, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and everybody's favourite, Lightning Jack.
All of them better films than this.
Yeah, it was a hell of a lot. There's just a long list. It's quite interesting to look through. There was even an episode of National Treasure, the TV series, filmed there.
Huh. I don't even know there was a TV series.
I don't think there is a National Treasure.
Speaking of
No, I don't
things
think there
no
is.
one's ever seen. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I might pick that film. It's quite a good film, National Treasure.
They
Just come to
made,
mind.
made that for tax purposes, did they?
All right, the All Play. The movie had a tight production schedule. How many days did it take to shoot?
Oh, 4.
I'm going to go with 57.
Ooh.
88.
Okay, it was even tighter than that. It was 40 days on a budget of $11 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I
Nice,
suppose
nice.
added to the kind of fast-paced nature of the film.
Yeah, and don't give a fuck attitude about what happens to it.
DGAF.
All right, let's move on to our favourite moments. Gaz, would you please kick us off? Should you have any at all?
I suppose I kind of do. It's when Terence Stamp's character gets surprise shot and he pops straight up in the air like the Puppet Pirate game. He pops down the barrel. It's like boing.
It's not even a
I
surprise.
thought, what the hell is that? Is that a reaction that happens when you surprise get shot? You leap up into the air with rigor mortis instantly.
It's not even a surprise, though, is it? You can see him coming over the ridge for ages.
Peter, when you shoot a real person, Peter, they spring up in the air like a pop of pirates.
Officer, what was the cause of death? He surprised got shot.
The worst kind of shot.
Adam, Did you have a favourite moment or highlight you'd like to share?
Yeah, I did genuinely enjoy the bit where Billy shoots McCluskey because he suspects him still working for Murphy. And it's sort of like, it seems to be calming down, and it comes out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, yes! That's brilliant, yeah. And the blood splatter and everything.
Is that where it doesn't fall over instantly?
Yeah.
Is that the kill? Yeah, it's a good one.
Brilliant.
Shoots him right in the face, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's just stood there. So
really
he has
good.
to shoot again.
I was thinking, I thought at that point maybe this is the bit where the movie takes a bit of an upturn.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't.
That was the high watermark.
I wonder if well, no, he was the producer as well, wasn't he? I was going to say if it's like studio trying to bring it down to a PG-13 when it probably should have been an R-rated movie, and maybe we would have. Maybe there's a better movie in there somewhere where it's pure darkness. Or
wonder if there's like a director's cut or a special Blu-ray box out there. Yeah, probably
release
not.
the Cain cut.
I don't know. It would take an awful lot of polishing to get that 80s sheen off it.
What, Charlie?
Charlie, yeah.
All right, Super Dude, since you're on the mic, what was your favourite moment?
Yeah, it's in a similar vein for me. The scene where they kill Sheriff Brady. I think it's really good. And they come out of the darkness to get him. Yeah, a moment of ultra-violence, the old ultra-violence.
It's great, it's good. It's really good bit, Sam.
I really enjoyed the peyote trip.
It just goes on a bit long for me.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And you can see they're all having fun with it. I love it when Emilio Estevez pops up with twigs and leaves in his hat. He looks like a meerkat with his big round eyes.
I think he's good in this. My favourite thing about that scene where they kill Sheriff Brady is how it ends with Billy getting his photograph taken and he does the little hat toss. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense, that transition. He kills him. It cuts a really good cut from the gunshot to the camera going off, which is at night, and then it cuts straight back to day having a conversation with Terry Gunn. It's like, hey, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
You're operating on Cain time, my friend. All right, Adam, did you have any favourite lines that tickled your pink?
I did, and when I heard it, I was like, it's like, regulators, we regulate the stealing of every property. We're damn good too, but you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep. And of course, it's been sampled as part of Warren G. Regulate, isn't it?
Right,
a few years
exactly.
later. So I was like, when I heard it, I was like, so it's from this film? So it made me very happy.
Every day's a school day, hey, Adam?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Honestly, I was totally shocked, and I was like, oh, yeah, great.
All right, Super Dude, what was your favourite line?
I didn't have one, so I've looked it up and I've gone for one that struck me because it reminds me of something else. Jensen says to Doc, I know what you've come to do. You've come to lay with me and cut me into tiny pieces. You're the bandit that eats children and old people. And Kiefer Sutherland replies to her, I eat meat and potatoes, which reminds me of Hank from Larry Sanders.
Just a meat and potatoes guy.
Hey, Hank, you want to come round this weekend? My wife's cooking. Oh, yeah, what you having? Oh, we're having meat and potatoes. Oh, I just remember I can. I'm just fucking 2 women.
Well, that undoubtedly is a better line than anything in this film. But Gaz, what do you have?
Well, I also didn't have one, and I ordinarily would look it up, but in this instance, I thought it'd be funnier if I didn't. Just got one.
Could you make up a line that you'd like to have heard in there?
Oh, shucks, that's where all the bananas went.
Excellent. My favourite line is, as I'm swooning over Emilio Estevez, is where he says, Buenos dias, shitheads.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Blitzing through this, there's going to be no edits.
That's always my aim, to have a nice short edit.
For me, though, this is going to be mine.
Yeah, I'm hoping that one day you'll return the favour for me.
I'll try my best.
You have to pick a film worse than this.
I'll pick a big dud no one wants to talk about.
The next Karate Kid.
Do you like Requiem for a Dream and everybody's just like,
I'd rather not.
Yeah, no, please don't.
the
Don't
end.
make me watch that again. I don't want to watch it again.
All right. Did any of you have a favourite performance in this film?
Yeah, Lou Diamond Phillips is absolutely on fire, isn't he?
He's pretty
Okay.
good. He's pretty great in everything. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kiefer Sutherland. I think he has the easy charm of his father in this, and you don't see him in a lot of roles like this. You know, Jack Bauer, his signature role is, angry all the time, also tired all the time, obviously. And Lost Boys we did a few
Yeah.
seasons ago. Obviously, he's quite cocky in that, recalls his Stand By Me performance. But yeah, in this, he's just pure, fresh-faced charm, and I really enjoyed seeing him play a role like that.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of real heart in this. I do like him. How about you, Gaz? Who did you like? Who did you enjoy? You're a big Jack Palance fan. I know he wasn't in it much, but did you enjoy his performance?
Yeah, I think he's actually quite intimidating at points. There's a sequence opposite. It must be Terence Stamp early on, where he's very, very. I know he always is quite narrow-eyed, but he's particularly narrow-eyed here, and his Irish accent is quite decent during that small snippet that I'm referring to, as opposed to most of the rest of his performance. I think he's quite good. The character itself as well. Thinking about it now in hindsight, has a couple of good lines. Like he says to Terence Stamp something along the lines of, "You haven't got your boot on our necks now, Englishman. We're taking it back," or something like that. I thought it was quite a nice bit of business in there. Yeah, he's good, Jack Palance. I count myself as somewhat of a fan.
He's got one of the steeliest gazes in Hollywood, I would say, that guy. He's genuinely terrifying.
Yeah. I wonder whether him and Clint ever had a stare-off in any films.
There'd have been sparks flying. Sparks, I tell you.
I can't recall ever seeing Jack Palance in a role that wasn't intentionally intimidating.
He's in, I forget which film it is, but I watched a Jean-Luc Godard film about a year ago that he's in as like a charming Hollywood executive. He's really good in that. It's like from the 60s, so he's got jet black hair and he's incredibly handsome. Yeah, he's good in that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still waiting for Godard. A little bit of the theatre humour there for the boys, isn't it? Bit of theatre humour for the lads.
Clicking for it. That's what everybody does in the theatre, isn't it? During plays, they click. Yeah. Drink some carrot juice.
Carrot juice.
In Young Guns, our young outlaws are up against the powerful and corrupt Lawrence Murphy, who employs a posse of hired guns to control Lincoln County, going so far as to having rancher and business rival John Tunstall killed in order to tighten his grip on the town and the local beef trade. Soupy Dude, what did you think of Murphy's scheme?
It seemed to me... What did he do again?
He surprise shot someone. Don't
like I
forget
say, his presence to me was barely felt. The scenes he was in, he did a good job.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jack Palance did a good job of selling him as an intimidating presence. But I don't think the script did, really.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be about the extent of his plan, killing Tunstall. And if that was the guy's plan in real life... What was he thinking?
He wanted to tighten his grip on the beef trade.
Right, yeah, but I just can't imagine how he thought that would go well.
Well, I'm looking forward to find out how you'll tighten your grip on the beef trade.
He hears that the hit on Tunstall was successful, and he just slaps his hands together. Well, that's that then.
I'll be off now, will I?
Gaz, what did you think of Murphy's plan?
Same as Super Dude. It's just like, why didn't he just kill everybody and kill his tracks? And which Metal Gear Solid noise, that might figure into my plan somewhat. It's so stupidly obvious. It's mind-boggling why he doesn't take care of everybody.
Do you think it was an education issue of the time? Perhaps that, literacy and widespread education isn't what it is today. Do you think that had a bearing on his actions? I don't want to know.
I thought it was more to the fact that that lawyer was gonna grass on him, wasn't he? He was a bit afraid of what he was gonna do.
Terry O'Quinn's character, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when he deputised the Young Guns, wasn't it? And he thought maybe that would be doing him a favour, but obviously they couldn't be controlled. That's why he didn't go the whole hog, as it were.
Whole enchilada.
But he should have done, really, and should have just bought people off.
So you saying it was a good plan?
No.
Okay. And I would have to be in agreement there. And I'd say there was a lot more he could have done. It could have been down to the script not allowing him. Could have been down to lack of vision, foresight. Whatever the reason, I'm only giving him 2 florets of potatoey broccoli.
Oh. Starchy broccoli.
Is that an Irish reference?
It's an Irish reference.
Right.
Is that not right? Is that right? Wait, let me try again. I'll give him
2 florets of lucky clover.
I'll give him 2 florets of beefy broccoli.
Grown on a shamrock and the emerald isle.
If you're enjoying this gosh darn episode, we'd love for you to mosey on over to your preferred podcast platform and leave us a review that's sharper than Billy the Kid's aim. Just like the regulators, we need our posse. Your review helps us wrangle up more listeners and is worth more than a fistful of dollars. Now go on, get!
Nice.
I'll cut the bit where you asked if you're enjoying this episode.
What?
I don't want them to think about whether they're enjoying the episode or not.
I just wanted to give a lovely, nice review.
As you're enjoying this.
Since you're enjoying this episode so gosh darn much... Now it's time for our High Noon Showdown, where we compete to see who can come up with the best alternative scheme to earn precious peril points for the diabolical leaderboard. Lawrence Murphy's plan to control Lincoln County and the local beef trade through intimidation and violence met its match in the form of Billy the Kid and the regulators. But let's see if we can do any better. Adam, how would you rid yourself of them pesky regulators?
Fucking me. Right, I'm going to try my best southern drawl for this, so bear with me.
Southern drawl.
Do like a Cockney accent.
Hello, love.
South of the river.
Murphy makes a social call to Tunstall to tell him that he's taking everything away from Lincoln County on account of a disease that's been driven up from Texas in the great cattle drives of those times. Murphy's herd is too large, too valuable to risk losing. Even if that means moving them on, it'll be the cheaper option. Murphy says he's fixing to head north in search of greener pastures. He wishes Tunstall a fine day and is on his way. Tunstall ain't aware Murphy has dispatched some cowpokes a week earlier to drive some of those less than impressive Texas herd toward Tunstall's ranch. Why, that egg-sucking dog, he sure is lower than a snake's belly in a wagon rut. Murphy's men finally arrive in the night and dump the body of a recently expired bovine on his ranch. Well, sure as sugar, as that body's a decomposing, it releases its deadly cargo in the form of anthrax. Anthrax at the time was rife in the West, the Midwest, because of a practice common cattle drives from just after the Civil War, well into the 1890s. Diseased cattle were simply abandoned along the routes of well-traveled trails. Murphy knew this, but the ranchers of New Mexico thought they were safe. Not so. Not now. As the infected cattle spread spores of anthrax through Tunstall's healthy herd, the regulators investigate the sickness, not expecting what they find. Some get sick, real sick. Let's say one of them dies. For the purpose of this here plan, let's say it was Billy the Kid. So instead of raising hell, he's kicked the bucket. With Tunstall's ranch and boys sicker than a varmint and plop, it's time for Murphy to clean up. So yeah, basically at that time, when they were driving the cattle north from Texas, there was anthrax spreading amongst the herds and stuff like that, and they might have said it was related to shipping animal feed in ships and stuff that previously held animal bone and stuff like that, and basically it spread all over the Midwest and the West.
Where does anthrax come from?
From animal bones and things like that. I can't remember where it is, but it still exists in Texas to this day. That they go in some places, and when it has a heavy rain, there's still like 1,000 animals die in a year because of anthrax and stuff like that, like native deer populations. So I got the idea from that.
The more you know.
Thank you for disguising a history lesson.
Yes.
In a southern drawl.
How does Murphy ensure that this anthrax doesn't spread to his herds?
He's taken his herd away already. That's what I said. He pops
Out
into
of the range of rain?
Out of the range of where they're going to plop the carcass into his ranch. So he's well out of the way. Then he infects his ranch. Everybody goes, "Oh, he's got a disease in his ranch. Keep away." And then he's the only one in the area that's got all the lovely beefy cows.
So he's taken his cows to a different range that's out of range of that range.
Of this range.
So
okay.
Why does he then need to get rid of Tunstall at all? Surely he's the big beef guy in wherever he's moved to.
He needs to make sure that he's eliminated, isn't he? That's the whole reason. Get rid of him, and he's out of the and his.
But isn't that because he wants to monopolise beef in the area where he lives?
Yeah.
So doesn't moving away from that area make that plan redundant?
No, he's just moved somewhere else, but he can still sell the beef back there.
So it's temporary. Or has he actually just raised the land, essentially?
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Can't take his cattle back there, can he, for fear of anthrax, surely?
Anthrax.
Yeah, well, they won't go to that ranch again. Because apparently it
okay.
just stays in the ground, yeah.
Bloody
so there's
hell.
no more ranching on that farm.
So you just burn it all to the ground?
Yeah. That's it.
It seems to me, I think he wants to be the big beef guy where he is, not move away.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not going like a million miles away. He's just going to move far enough away that he's out of the harm's reach, and
How
then
far
get
is
rid of
that?
his competition. I don't know.
Would he know? Is he enough of a man of science?
Yes, he would, but he'd divulge that to me. And I said, "How far?" And he went, "Far enough." I was like, "Okay, I'm not asking any more questions. It's fine."
Adam, I'll tell you where Curly's gold is. Adam, I'll tell you where
give me
Curly's
that
gold
nose
is.
tap.
But
The curly nose tap. The curly nose tap.
that I can tell you.
That's what he won the
I can
Oscar
tell
for,
you.
wasn't it? That nose tap.
Don't worry, pretty little lad about it.
And he said he was also buying his cows face masks, just in case you were going to ask that. Yes, they had a face mask back in those days.
Where is the band Anthrax from?
America, I think.
And this could make or break your plan here, Adam.
Banned anthrax. Oh,
Yeah.
from America, yeah. They're from America, aren't they?
Okay, no, that yeah, okay,
That checks out.
that checks out.
Yeah.
All right, super dude. How would you rid yourself of them pesky regulators?
The secret to dealing with the regulators should become apparent to Murphy at the New Year's Eve shindig and its immediate aftermath. So, what transpires there? Well, sir, for one thing, Murphy learns that the young men in Tunstall's care and employ are interested in that most vaunted of hobbies, education. What greater way to distract 6 boys from beef, but full scholarships to Williams College? Well, thinking on it, Williams is a cow college. So, what else may give us insight into the hearts of these little tykes? Murphy sees Doc dance with Yen's son. That's it! Teenage boys are curious about ladies of the night. Give them all a warm bed and a warm woman, and they're sure to forget all about lovely salty beef. Except... So, it's curtains for that plan too, but sometimes fate has a way of stepping in, and, seeing his men sneak up on Tunstall and fill his lungs with lead, Murphy remembers, there is one more way to deal with a group of young men, but it is as intricate and precise as a well-played game of chess. Murphy, you've done it again, he says aloud to himself, before ordering his men to shoot the regulators to death with guns, or, to be exact, the bullets fired from their guns.
So just kill the regulators.
Oh dear.
Have I just stolen Gaz's plan?
Quite possibly. But I have a slightly different way of arriving at that point.
Yeah.
More circuitous, I don't doubt.
I so dearly wanted to just write just the end of that plan and nothing else.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd put in some Simpsons chumming for you there. Did you spot the 2 examples of Simpsons chumming?
Bovine University.
Yeah, you're just calling us a cow college because we was founded by a cow.
When I grow up, I'm going to Bovine University.
And then the other one is when Burnsy is trying to get the Hellfish Bonanza, and he sends the assassin after Grandpa, and he keeps trying to like poison him cleverly and stuff like that, and he says, there is one more way to kill a man, but it is as intricate and precise as a well-played game of chess. And then he just bursts into the old thug's home with a Tommy gun and shoots everywhere.
Very good. Very good. Some nice Simpsons chumming.
So why didn't Murphy just shoot the regulators in the film?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the difference here?
You tell me.
He had a railgun. That's pretty tasty.
Yeah, she could have just shot them all.
And he's got shitloads of guys. They are far outnumbered at the start.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, go and kill Tunstall and the regulators. But he'd said it too slow and they'd already gone to kill Tunstall. And he looked up and he went, oh, well, never mind.
I'll get him next time. Well, if there are no further questions for Super Dude, Gaz, what would you have done differently?
Beef. 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 Beef.
Beef.
Beef.
Beef.
Beef.
Beef.
Dun dun
Beef.
dun dun beef. Dun 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 beef. Dun 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 beef. Dun 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 beef. Beef. It's into that bit. I, Murphy, shall now regale ye with a tale of how I landed a lucrative beef contract as we sit around this lovely campfire roasting our marshmallows. We met on neutral ground at the old drinking hole, so I says to the regulators, I says, now then, fellas, I've been wanting to talk to yous about the matter of all this lucrative beef contracts that we've been having a squabble over. 'Tis but a silly thing for men like us, and you young men too, to be causing such a fuss over. What we all ought to do is settle our differences over a wee dram of whiskey and a game of cards. There's lovely now. Well, here's what I'm prepared to offer you, by way of breaking the impasse that we seem to have reached. We split it in half. Half of the beef to you, and half of the beef to me. And you can't say fairer than that, in my opinion. Why am I being so magnanimous, you might well ask yourselves. I'm getting on in years now, lads, and I haven't the stomach for this sort of blood feud any longer. But I do want me fair share, mind, hence the 50-50. As y'all can see, I came to you unarmed, and without my men, you have me outnumbered. I've nothing to hide from you, ye see. The only thing that I have in my possession is a contract for us to co-sign. It simply lays the terms out as I've expressed to yous in marginally finer detail, that's all. So what do you say? Will you sign with me and become partners of a sort? That's good, that's very good now. And so they did sign, swayed by my gift of the gab and my authentic Irish lilt. But little did they know that the contract was not made of paper, but a thin slice of roasted beef that was mistaken for paper. And the pen with which they signed the contract was no pen, but rather it too was a cylinder of beef fashioned to appear as a pen saw. Fully satisfied that I have the John Hancock smushed into the beef, I had them all shot by the best sharpshooters this side of the Mississippi. Then all that remains to be done is have the finest calligrapher this side of Wyoming transfer their signatures over to a real paper contract that gives me full rights to the lucrative beef contract. We then ate the delicious beef contract and the so-so beef pen mind, and also the chairs too, which were made of beef.
Nice.
Why is the contract made in beef in the first place? Why?
Because he could. Just want to check. You mentioned his authentic Irish lilt.
Yeah.
Would that be pineapple and grapefruit or mango and mandarin?
Oh, mango and mandarin, please.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Christ.
How would he get the message to the regulators to meet on the neutral ground?
Beef.
You've sold me.
He turns up at the little house on the prairie, unannounced, from the start of the film, as they're having their presumably beef dinner. Just like tips his hat, puts a little parchment on the table, inviting them to said meeting place.
Okay.
You know, like in Napoleon Dynamite, when they have their break at the chicken ranch and they have to drink eggs and eat eggs.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the life of the Young Guns. They have to drink like beef stock in milk, just gallons of it.
That's just Bovril, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Bovril.
What's the matter, William? Not enjoying your bone clothes? Couldn't you have gone with leather? Oh, no.
You won't find a plan beefier than that, I'm confident.
No, that was very beefy. Yeah.
Very Ian Botham-like.
Well, if there are no further questions, I will take us home. As Murphy strolls through the sleepy town of Lincoln, he hears the pleasing sound of music coming in his ears.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Got another song.
Well, I'm poor, I'm broke, and I'm point free. I ain't got a vote to my name. I'm just sitting here with this outlaw team, and I'm trying to win this godforsaken game. Can't you see that I'm doing my damnedest, scheming on bold and snide? Can't you see me planning forever, trying to win a godforsaken game? And I'm just a handsome hobo, ain't no reward from the panel for me. So I best just keep on applauding, cause that's the way that life's gotta be. Well, I'm poor, I'm broke, and I'm free. I ain't got a vote to my name. I'm just sitting here with this outlaw team. I'm trying to win this godforsaken game.
Very nice song.
As the sweet music recedes into the evening gloom, Murphy is struck by how the song's expertly crafted lyrics resonated with him. If only there was some way he could vote to show his appreciation. Anyway, reflecting on the stellar song, he too feels massively undervalued by his peers, his so-called friends. Hadn't he helped to build this from nothing? Yet there were those still bitter that he'd won that first seat. Beef contract. No, they owed him. They owed him for everything he'd done for them. The countless long nights of beef, the hilarious steaks he'd provided them week after week. Yes, he would rally the townsfolk and call them to arms. He would make them see that his success would breed their success. And it was high time they paid him the respect he deserves. With the railgun armed night and day, and a giant posse of riled up locals who pay him their dues, he would surely get the satisfaction he so very richly deserves.
So you've created a song, and then with the scheme in order to garner sympathy.
Pardon, I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't follow either. I don't know what you're saying.
What do you mean? If there are any subliminal messages in that song,
Yeah.
that's all, your interpretation.
Well, I certainly didn't get any subliminal messages from that, and I shall be voting accordingly.
Could you summarise your plan, do you think?
Yeah. So, he's obviously done a lot of good things for this town. A hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Worked his fingers to the bone.
Right.
But he's not appreciated, and he's not getting the love from the townsfolk.
Yeah.
And so he inspires the townsfolk. He calls them to action.
Yeah.
And they, realizing their horrible, horrible mistakes and the way they've treated him in the past,
Yeah.
they decide to help him out. And they man the guns, and they're all, they form an even larger posse to take down the regulators.
Do you think that that maybe because Murphy's probably had some outbursts before about how unfair he's been treated, that the townsfolk will just get sick of him and probably run him through with a hay fork?
No, I believe this is the first time he's ever done it. He's been very patient with them
Okay.
up until now. Very patient.
Has he? He has. There's been no previous outbursts that the townfolk might
Not as far as I'm aware.
bring up in conversation.
Certainly not on a weekly basis.
Bi-monthly?
I think the townsfolk would respond like this. You've been good to us, 'tis true, Murphy, giving us as much beef as we can stomach and all. But you've not taken care of those regulators, and that's a real problem for me. That's a real deal breaker. Take care of them regulators, and then come to me for your sympathy, Murphy, they would say.
He'd just say, but it's the regulators that I need help with there, so if you help me, we do it together. Then the regulators will be gone and everybody will be happy. And we'll all have our little bellies full of beef.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Oh, I knew this was going to be a good episode.
Those schemes were as diabolical as a tumbleweed in a freshly shaved pussy.
Oh.
Now it's time to vote for our favourite. As a reminder, we had Adam's Bovanthrax Bonanza, Super Dude's rootin tootin shootin galootin plan, Gaz's beefy contract con, and my own subtle call to action. Remember, each vote is worth exactly 1 point for the leaderboard. No more. Come on, guys. But certainly no less.
Hooray!
And let me remind you that you may not vote for yourself.
Should we let Ben vote for himself this week?
You might need it.
Pretty please.
Oh, God. I haven't voted yet. I'm still trying to decide.
It's all right, they're all shit.
Yeah.
Throw a dart.
They're all better than the one in the movie.
All right, well, if we're all ready. Super Dude, you heaving harlot. Who have you voted for?
Well, I liked Adam's plan. I think my concern about it is I don't think he could stop the anthrax spreading. I don't think he'd want to move away from town. And I liked Gaz's plan, but I think transposing signatures off beef onto paper is insane. But I still would have voted for it. But because you asked for it and begged for it, I'm giving you a sympathy vote. There's one for
Yes!
Ben.
Yes! Sympathy votes.
Oh.
No,
Tastes so good.
Even by the standard of some of the previous songs, that was a good one.
Thank you. All right. Ben, who have you voted for? Well, since I'm not allowed to vote for myself, some fucking balmy rule, I voted for the plan that I thought was quite historically accurate and clever and done in a very good accent. So I voted for Adam. And I've given his little A a 10-gallon hat.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Stylish.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yes, that's me.
Adam, who would
Yes?
you, who have you, who would you, and who have you voted for?
Well, I've voted for the person I'm deemed to be the least threat to the remaining three of us. So I voted for Ben.
Oh, yes. It's working. It's working. I think I found a new tactic. And Gaz, finally, who have you voted for?
I too have voted for the person who wrote the best song this week, and that person was Ben.
Look at that.
Oh, look at him. Clean
Yes.
sweep.
I'm so happy.
He'll be back in his marital bed tonight
Yeah, that's it.
after months of sleeping in the dog's bed.
On a little heap of straw. Wow. What a turn up for the books. Gaz, I'm eager to know, what has that done to the Diabolical leaderboard?
My word, we've got big changes. However, still in the lead with 7 points, mind you, is current king. No, not really current king. Super Dude's the current king. But I'm the current king. It's Gaz. In second place.
I'll accept the lesser title of Berry King.
In second place with 6 points apiece are Ben and Adam.
Ooh.
And bringing up the rear is the Berry King, Super Dude, with 5 points.
Also, Berry King comes with double prize money.
Wow. This race is now tighter than
the Tight Boys.
Tighter than a tiger.
the Tight Boys after a real nice meal together. Adam, as host of our next episode, tell us, what movie have you deemed it necessary for us to watch?
Well, we're going to return, as a seasonal tradition dictates, to all things Bond, and we shall be watching one of Craig's... Oh, beg your pardon, Super Dude, you wonderful beast. We shall be watching one of Super Dude's most favouriteest Bonds. We shall be watching On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, yes.
The one with the ending.
Yeah, it's a goodie.
No, it's not.
Well, as we all know, under the microscope of this show, we tend to pick out things that we didn't really appreciate before about certain films.
Yeah, that's true. I do look at it with a certain lens. So.
I'm very, very much looking forward to this watch.
Yeah, and I think the success of Casino Royale, which is the second film with the ending, maybe you've given it some context that modern audiences might appreciate now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's some standout elements in it, but I'm sure we're going to talk about plenty in the actual episode, so we'll save it then.
And I suppose it's kind of fitting because I think George Lazenby's just retired from acting, hasn't
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Yeah.
After a very successful career and went from strength to strength after he finished that film.
Successful career of Weatherspoons, did you say?
he? No one pulled a pint like Lazenby. Nobody.
Yeah. Oh,
Can't get him off 180 or around the board.
yeah.
And that's it for another episode. Thank you for listening. For more film-related facts and buffoonery throughout the week, follow us on all the social medias at DiabolicalPod. Join us next time when we'll be tearing apart James Bond low watermark on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Until then, buenos dias, shitheads.
Bye, Gary.
So long, Gary.
Yeah. You're happy.
Gary.
I hope you're happy now, Gary. We've thoroughly shit all over one of your favourite films. That'll teach you. That'll teach you to be our friend. Love
I think
you.
He's gonna love it, to be honest. Right, Adam, you need to sing "Regulate." Go.
It was a clear black night. I can't remember how it goes. Let me just get the lyrics up. I'll remember. It's
that brilliant now speech.
Oh, here you
another
go.
one. Now.
It was a clear black night, clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the eve so I can get some funk. Wool in my mind, right, chilling alone. Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. See a car full of girls and we need to tweak. All your skirts know what's what 213.
Carry on.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So I hook a left on 2-1 Lewis. Some brothers were in dice, and I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride, and I said, what's up? Some brothers pull some gats, and I said, I'm stuck. Since these girls peeping me, I'm gliding to swerve. These hookers so hard, they drain the curb. Onto bigger and better things, some horny tricks. I see my homie and some suckers all in his mix. I'm getting jacked. I'm breaking myself. I can't believe they're taking Warren's wealth. They took my rings. Took my Rolex. I looked at the brothers and said, damn, what's next? They got my homie hemmed up and all around, and none can see if I'm going down. They want to come up real quick before they start. I said I lost it.
Well,
I was going.
well, fair play.
I was just hoping you'd get to the bit, the bit. I got a car full of girls and it's going real swell. The next stop is the East Side Motel. That's the bit I was waiting for. Surprisingly far into the song.
I like the size. My car's broke down, you see, real nice. Can you let me ride?
And then I suppose one for Gary Mann, the Bon Jovi fan.
Wake up in the morning and I raise my weary head. I got an old coat for a pillow, and the earth is last night's bed. Don't know where I'm going, only I know where I've been. I'm a devil on the run, 6-gun lover, a candle in the wind.
Guys, could you give us the chorus of Blaze of Glory in a Murphy Irish accent, please?
Blaze of Glory? Hang on.
Blaze.
It's simply going down in a blaze of glory.
Oi,
going down,
in a blaze of glory.
In a blaze of glory.
By
Oi,
Bon
going
Jovi,
down.
led by frontman John Bon Jovi, born John Bon Jovi.
In It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Dan DeVito calls him Bovine Joni. I want to get a meeting. I want to get a meeting with Bovine Joni.
It's got quite a lot of lyrics here, starting with "I'm going down in a blaze of glory."
Yeah,
What?
the chorus is like,
I'm going down in a blaze of glory.
glory.
Take me now, but know the truth.
truth.
I'm going down in a blaze of glory. Lord, I never drove first, but I drove first blood. I'm no one's son. Call me young gun. That's what it says there.
Let me try again. This is dietary fibre. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
This is man at a riot getting hit in the bollicle.
First in the head, then in the bollock. Do you see the guy getting bitten on the arse by the dog as well?
No, I didn't see that.
Yes! He's like, I pay your wages, get out of my face, don't touch me. I'm a ass.
This will be good for us to be able to reference what was going on in the world when we did this episode.
Yeah.
The other thing
There
is,
we go.
Tom
Race
Cruise
riot.
is going to close out the Paris Olympics by
repelling.
rappelling, and then taking the torch to LA and skydiving onto the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
And setting a light.
Like the fuse at the start of Mission Impossible. That's what lights it.
Completely burn the day and make it Hollywood like in BoJack.
Yeah.